You don't need to use this anymore. Get rid of it. It's time to upgrade to wood. Wood cutting boards are for adults. Wood cutting boards are for people that read. We're gonna be talking everything wood cutting boards in this video, why you should buy a wood cutting board, where you should buy a wood cutting board, what brands and materials are the best, and how to maintain a wood cutting board so it lasts you forever. So last year I got rid of my plastic cutting boards after learning about microplastics. If you didn't know, microplastics are tiny plastic particles found in almost everything, including our food, drinking water, and even our bodies. One study found that using plastic cutting boards regularly could result in the ingestion of 7 to 50 grams of microplastics per year. Consuming microplastics has been linked to inflammation, hormone disruption, and chronic illness. So I know this guy is really easy to use and wash, but it's really not good for your body, and it shouldn't be something you're using anymore. Let's ditch talking about it and let's talk about wood cutting boards. I'm gonna list for you all the amazing things that wood cutting boards have that other cutting boards don't have. Number 1, they naturally fight bacteria. Number 2, they're biodegradable. Number 3, they're easier on knives. Number 4, they're repairable. They're all cut up. You can just sand them down, refinish them. Looks brand new. Looks brand new. People are gonna be jealous. People are gonna be jealous when they see how nice your cutting board looks in 10 years. Number 5, I think, these guys are long lasting. You're gonna be dead in your grave, this thing's gonna be chopping away. You're gonna be RIP, this thing's gonna be making a steak. So I keep seeing these ads for glass and stainless steel cutting boards. I don't know anyone professional who uses that. It's absolutely terrible for your knives. It's like literally putting metal on metal. Like, that doesn't make any sense. This is the best for longevity, for sustainability, for your knives, for your health. This is the best option. You don't need to look anywhere else. All right, so now I want to talk about the 5 different types of wood that most cutting boards come in. And we're gonna rank them because who doesn't love a ranking? Coming in at number 5, we have a bamboo cutting board. It's the eco-friendly option. It's the easiest to grow, and it also regenerates quickly. My favorite thing about it is it's really lightweight. It's definitely, I think, of all of them, the most apartment friendly because it's easy to handle, easy to move in and out of like storage space. The downside to it is it's hard on knives. The fibers have a little bit less give, and because of that, it can develop grooves over time, so it might not last you as long as some other of the wood options. This guy is also $35, so if you're looking for a budget option, I think bamboo is the best option. Coming in at number 4, we have teak. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. That's what it feels like lifting a teak cutting board. It's just like, whoa, no, no. What's great about a teak cutting board is it's definitely the easiest to maintain. It has like a natural moisture to it. Pretty much only have to give it a little lotion, a little seasoning about once a month. This cutting board I probably use the least just because I live in an apartment and I don't have like a island to put it on, so there's no place for it to live. So if you're looking for something pretty and easy to maintain, it's a great option. We're gonna talk about cherry. There's really no downsides to a cherry cutting board. They're gentle on knives, they have a great rich color. They're also a little bit more lightweight. The majority of my cutting boards right now are not very easy to handle for my little baby, tiny little angel baby wrists. So I'm looking to get a cherry one in the future, possibly. Coming in at number 2, walnut. No, I'm not talking about walnut the nut. I'm talking about walnut, the wood that comes from a walnut tree. So a walnut wood cutting board is really great because it's this beautiful dark wood, which is really unique. If you're feeling fancy, you want something that looks kind of like luxe, a walnut cutting board, you know. Super knife friendly, like we look for in all of our wood cutting boards. If you're classy and you want a cutting board that's gonna last you a really long time, that's the one you want. And finally, maple. These guys are the gold standard. They're really good at resisting bacteria. They're great at protecting your knives. I've had this one for a while. It's held up really well. The only issue I have with it is like, it's a little heavy. It's not horrifically heavy. It's probably like 7 pounds, 8 pounds. Ooh, my little bicep. This is an excellent choice. It's my favorite choice. There's really nothing bad I can say about it overall. It's the best option, I think, for longevity. He's just a sturdy, reliable guy, you know. That's a maple cutting board, so get into it. So I just want to talk briefly about the cutting boards I own and where I recommend buying cutting boards. So this is from John Booz & Co. If you just Google Booz Blocks, he's there. This is kind of like the gold standard if you talk to chefs or people who really are passionate about cooking at home. This is what a lot of people recommend for you. This one I think was 45 or 50 bucks, so it's small. I like something small because I'm an apartment dweller. This maple guy from Booz Blocks is really great. They also sell other materials as well. Feel free to peruse the website, see if there's anything that's better for you. Second favorite board that I own, this guy's from Etsy, and it was actually bought as a gift. It's bamboo. It's really easy to move around. I like the size of it. This is like, I think 8 by 10. It's like a little bit bigger than a piece of paper. And I'm gonna link all of these boards in the description, so if you want to just have a direct link to buy these boards, if you're sold, try to support though like an individual like seller, like an Etsy seller. He's a sweet guy. He's a sweet guy. I probably use him 3 times a day. And then finally, we got the big boy. We saw him crush me earlier. Yeah, I don't really use him. I did when I first got him. I found him on the street, I should say that. New York people just move, die, whatever. People's stuff just ends up on the street. I would really recommend if you want to buy a more expensive board, like a teak board or a really nice walnut board, go to a thrift store, because a lot of thrift stores will have just piles of these. Way more marked down right now. If you want to buy a board like this, it would be at least 150 bucks. Same thing for like a walnut board or a really big maple board. So if you're looking to buy something more expensive, like heavier, sturdier, thrift store is the first place that I would look. If you can't find anything, then check out maybe Facebook Marketplace. If that doesn't work out, I have a list of sellers online that I would recommend that I'm gonna put here. Just check them out if you're not finding anything locally. All right, let's move to the kitchen. I'll see you there. So, you've just come home and you've got your new cutting board in your hands. You're very excited. It's your first wood cutting board ever, and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, what do I do with it now? Throw it in the dishwasher? Definitely not. We're just gonna wash it in the sink with some warm water and then dab off the excess water and then leave it to air dry. Super simple, super cute, easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my mix of Dr. Bronner's and water in my little soapy sudser. Spray that on there, and then I'm gonna wash it. Get it nice and sudsy. That's it. Now I'm going to grab a nice cotton cloth that I have, and I'm just gonna dry off the excess water like this. And that's, once that excess water is dried off, I'm just gonna put him on the side on my drying rack to dry, ideally for 12 to 24 hours. And that's gonna make sure that he's fully dry, there's no more moisture left, and he's ready for the next step. It's 24 hours later, your board is completely dry, you're ready for the next step, which is oiling your board. So I'm grabbing my organic cutting board oil. It's made from just coconut and nothing else. I really like it because it's natural. Mineral oils are made using petroleum. There's no science saying that's not fine, but the concept of it is kind of gross to me. So I'm just gonna grab my dry cutting board and I'm going to dump some oil on it, and I will get a close-up so you can see. Okay, like about that much, a little more, like a tablespoon, right? I'm just gonna rub it in with my hands, like this. You can do this with a towel as well, but I just like to use my hands because I can really feel the dry spots in the wood, and I can just like get in there, you know? Make sure you get in all the crevices, all the creases, get it in the juice groove. Don't be shy, all the way in there. Get it in the juice groove. Just put on a little bit at a time. Again, it's just like we're lotioning our dry skin, you know, it's a similar concept. I'm going a little too much with the oil, if I'm being completely honest. You really only need maybe 2 tablespoons. Get her nice and dry, and then you're good. So you leave this again for another 12 hours overnight, and then the next day, you're going to wax it. Okay, so it's the next day, and as we can see, the board has absorbed the majority of the oil that we applied last night. And so now we're going to apply the wax. So let me show you the wax. I get very excited about all these products that I just read and research and find the cleanest, most pure things so I can calm down about being poisoned. It's made from beeswax, linseed oil, and lemon oil. Ugh. It smells like heaven to me. Swish, swish. We're just gonna grab 1/4 teaspoon of wax, and we're just gonna use that for one side, and then the same for the other side. Put it on like a thin layer. It's kind of like putting body butter on. You don't wanna just like have a big thick layer, or you're gonna be really greasy. You wanna really like spread it out. Just me and my board. This is what I do on the weekend. I wish I was joking. Oh, this is your 30s. Thinking about waxing your cutting board, that's the highlight. Just feels good to take care of the things that you own. Treat them nice, because you worked hard, you paid money. You went to a job you hated for this, you know? If you went to a job you hated and bought something, why not take care of it? Why do I feel like Mr. Rogers today? I'm having a Mr. Rogers day. Would you be my sustainable neighbor? Don't forget the crevasse. Did you forget the crevasse? You gotta get in there with the crevasse. We're done, everything's all nice and rubbed in. We're nice and glossy. Look how glossy. So you let this absorb overnight, and then it's ready to use. If there's any extra moisture, you're gonna wanna do the same thing, grab a clean cloth and just dry it off, and then it's ready to go. If you've just bought your board, you need to do this 2 more times. I know. It's several days of waxing and oiling, but your board is doing the absorbing of the oil. You're just applying it. It's not that hard. Once you've done this 2 more times, your board is nice and moist and ready to use, and then from there you would need to oil and wax it depending on how often you use it. The best way to tell is just to feel it. If it starts feeling a little rough, a little dry, that's when you know, okay, I need to oil him, I need to wax him, he's in need of some R&R. Yeah, just take care of your boards and they'll last a really long time, a lifetime. We covered all the board things. Like, wow, this was great. Honestly, this was great. I think the reason why I like making videos like this is because I, just in the past 4 years, have had a total shift in perspective. I think it comes a lot with age, where in your 20s, you're about like just taking as much from life as you can give. And then once you head towards like your 40s, I'm not in my 40s, I'm in my 30s, but once you're heading towards your 40s, you're moving into a stage of like giving back to the world, to the people around you. And I think a part of that transition for me has been realizing that everything that I do has an impact on other people and on the environment. And when I think about the legacy I want to leave behind, I don't want to leave behind a trail of waste and trash you're gonna be creating waste. I think it's just inevitable, but the question is, how much waste are you creating, and are you doing anything to like mitigate that waste? That's the whole reason why I'm doing this, is just to show people that simple switches can make a really big impact, and it can really change how you see your life. It's just really rewarding to feel like you're helping your own health and the health of people around you, especially by changing things like using wood. You're adding less microplastics into your food and our water systems. So if you love sustainable living or are interested in sustainable living, like, I'd love to hear from you and talk with you. Yeah. Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps me create more videos like this. And yeah, I am going to be releasing some more sustainability content in the coming weeks, so stay tuned, and until I see you next time, bye! Stay sustainable!